We're very excited to have on the new head basketball coach at Alamogordo High School. Tom Shields is here with us. Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing fine.
Happy to have you here. And first off, how's your experience been in the community so far? You've driven a long way a couple of times from Illinois, but here in Alamogordo, how's it been for you?
It's been very good. People have been very helpful, offering help and very friendly. Pretty much the reputation I heard about the town, just down-to-earth people who are really good. And, anytime you make a long-distance move, even if you're a veteran in teaching and coaching, you're trying to get your furniture there, and you're trying to get your utilities hooked up, and then you're trying to find your way around the school. So, but it's been pretty good so far, very productive in a short period of time.
And getting ready, obviously, for the school year as well. I mean, we talk a lot about sports, but getting ready for the school year, obviously, is part of what you're focusing on right now, isn't it?
No, absolutely. I think that classroom has to be ready, and lesson plans have to be ready for the teaching. The kids come in tomorrow. So, yeah, that's definitely a priority right now.
Absolutely. I guess, what I would ask is what made you choose Alamogordo? I mean, you were working, or I would say you had the job up in Illinois, but I'm sure you had some choices out there to choose from. What was it about this job that made you decide to come here?
Well, my wife and I both lived in and worked in New Mexico for 5 years back from 2008 through 2013, and we really liked it. I had to go back to Illinois because of some family situations with deaths in the family and actually selling our family home, but we wanted to get back in this direction. Having coached and been an administrator in New Mexico, I became familiar with basketball around the state. Obviously, in southern part of New Mexico, 6A, you got Hobbs, Carlsbad, Clovis. So it's obviously one of the top districts for basketball, and that's what I was looking to do. We did have some other opportunities in Florida and Texas, actually, but this one kind of jumped out at me in a lot of ways just based on what I knew about the state of New Mexico and how the basketball is run here in this state.
Fantastic. You've had, well, I guess I'll ask this real quick. Yeah, you had a chance to meet with some of the players, or at least get to see them a little bit over the weekend. Any early impressions, or just in terms of chance of getting able to talk to some of the guys in terms of meeting with some of the players so far?
Yeah, they were. They're very athletic. Just watching them go up and down, not coaching, just kind of sitting there observing. And talking informally with them, I think that they want to be successful. I think they're looking for that discipline and leadership to allow them to have more fun by winning, just feeling good about what's going on. There was a lot of yes or no, sir, from the kids when I was asking them questions or talking to them. It was very, very encouraging. Is there work to do? Of course. But you talk about raw talent or athleticism, it's just a matter of doing what I do, teaching the game and getting them to, improve their basketball IQ and the use of their athleticism. Athleticism without proper application, results sometimes in turnovers and lack of continuity. So, as a coach sitting there analyzing, those are some of the things that I saw. Really good stuff.
You've been in coaching for 40 years, and you talk about teaching the kids the game. Is that what keeps you motivated in terms of wanting to go out there and coach? Is be able to teach those kids on how to play the game?
Yeah, because in coaching, you not only you're teaching your sport, you have the opportunity to teach life skills, setting goals, team cooperation, unselfishness, pushing the envelope mentally, physically, emotionally. That type of education is vital, I think, to the development of kids. I had the benefit of having good coaches when I was young, and so that's real important. The kids will remember the games and a lot of those moments, the bus rides, some of the meals 20 years down the road, but the key is what they'll take with them beyond the X's and O's. And that's always been a focus point for me. I want to leave them with more than just basketball, but basketball is the medium. Sports is the medium because you can learn so much by what occurs. I mean, dealing with the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, that happens. And how you deal with that, how you process that, needs to be taught. I don't think kids naturally inherit those skills. Those are life skills. And as a teacher, to me, I've learned that the best coaches are usually excellent teachers. You can't just be a cheerleader. You can't just throw them out there. You have to teach them the game and then how to play the game and how to react to what goes on around the game. Just yes or no, sir, the officials. We're not going to be pulling jerseys out of our shorts or that type of stuff. We're gonna do things. We're gonna do things right.
Talking with Tom Shields, the new Alamogordo boys basketball coach. You've obviously had, we talk about it, 40 years of experience. Let's go. What got you into coaching? I mean, I'm going back obviously a little ways there, but what was that got you into coaching? Was it someone that you learned from that decided, hey, this is something I want to do?
Well, I played 3 sports in high school, and then I played football, basketball, and baseball, and then I went on to play college baseball. I was very fortunate, and the coaches were my role models. But my freshman coach, I had him for 2 sports and in PE, Don Halverson. He was an ex-Marine drill sergeant who actually had played in the minor league baseball in the Dodger system. We did close order in gym class, but he had such an impact on us as students that I knew my freshman year, this is what I want to do. I want to teach. I want to coach. I can do this. I can make a difference like Mr. Halverson has made for me. And I stayed in touch with him until his death just a few years ago. And that's talking from way back in the way back days. So, and then in college, I had another excellent coach. In baseball, Bob Hale was an ex-major league ball player, played with the Yankees, Indians, and Orioles. And he took the whole thing to another level in terms of his educational approach. He gave up college baseball coaching shortly after that to become a high school principal. And so their focus was education first, using athletics. And that's how I learned. And I had good parents who taught me along the way in terms of discipline. And that's what gives me the satisfaction. It's what's kept me in it. It's what keeps me going. It helps keep me young, I guess. And so I'm looking forward to trying to do something really special with these kids, get things going, get the community excited again, fill that gym up, and take on the big boys. Some of the very best year in and year out, right down here in southern New Mexico, and don't I know it. So.
Yeah. You've had the opportunity to coach some special teams as well, and especially in the 80s with your teams. That one team that was ranked nationally #1. Talk about that experience. I mean, any different? I mean, obviously you had some exceptional talent on those teams, but talk about that. Yeah, talk about that experience.
Well, it was a good experience, and it was a real challenge for all of us because as we became nationally ranked for about 5 years, and then we got the #1 ranking. Well, everybody wants to get on the bandwagon. There were people trying to get involved with the kids and stuff like that, and trying to keep their heads together. And myself, I mean, between all the demands for press, college coaches, recruiting, national influences, the key was to stay grounded, and I think we did that very, very well. And we had a very balanced and unselfish team, and that's why we were successful. It opened doors for some of those kids for college scholarships, and that was a very, very big thing. But no, it was great. I mean, it brought the Bobby Knights of the world, Lou Olson, Johnny Orr, Ray Meyer to the school, and President Ronald Reagan. We had a visit from President Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan, who wanted to meet with these kids because they not only were #1. Basketball-wise, but all the kids they were all honor students. They all went on to college. We had a record of that for 4 or 5 years. So those are tremendous experiences. And those kids, the kids, they're in their 40s now. They still stay in touch with me all the time. It's funny, on that team that was ranked #1 and won the 85 state championship, 5 of those players are Chicago police officers. I don't know what that says. Joe Jackson, who was probably the MVP in that state title game, is actually the chaplain of the Chicago Police Department. So those kids have all done well. They're leading very productive and positive lives and making contributions to their communities there on the west side and south side of Chicago.
I think it's clear just in talking with you for a little while. I mean, obviously winning the state championship was a great thing, but it feels like you take much more pride in the men that these kids have become.
Oh, Newt Rockney said it best years ago when somebody asked him, what do you think about this team, or how great, like the 85 team? I said, call me in 20 years. We'll see how they do in 20 years. Are they productive? Are they living a good life? Have they taken the values and being productive in society? So yes, that's very important. And that's an integral part of building a quality, first-rate basketball program or any other sport. Do things right and emphasize the citizenship, the academics, and the social responsibilities that go with it, and realize that basketball or football, any sport, can open some doors for an education or free education. But you'll learn some things in team sports and even individual sports anytime you're competing that you will not learn in other venues in life.
you have a season that you feel like maybe the most rewarding that you look back on? I mean, I don't know if it was the '85 team or one of the other teams where you feel back and that was the one maybe I enjoyed the most. Is there one in particular you can think of, or there are so many in there that you really cherish that it's hard to pick out just one?
Well, I could probably name two or three. 1999 in Pontiac, Illinois. Pontiac, Illinois is a farm community in central Illinois near Bloomington Normal. About 900 kids, almost all farm kids, some white-collar workers in Bloomington Normal. And that program was really in the dumps. They had never won a big class regional, not even a regional tournament. They had turned out only one Division I athlete in like 80 years. They run the most special, biggest tournament in the state of Illinois. The Pontiac Holiday Tournament's actually copyrighted. And in 80-some years, they had only won one major trophy. In my 8 years there, we were able to win two major trophies, at third place in the consolation title. Two of those farm kids, through hard work and just developing, became Division I athletes. Jesse Magnuson went to Eastern Illinois University, roomed with Tony Romo, by the way, at Eastern Illinois University. Wow. There's another little brush with fame. And played in the big dance against one of Louis Olson's last teams at Arizona. And then Jason Telford, my point guard, was a valedictorian in the senior class. Went to Loyola University and played for 4 years. Started his last 2 years, was captain, and he's making six figures in some accounting firm in downtown Chicago right now. So that was very, very satisfying, because after having great talent and good players in Chicago, I heard some of the things that Phil Jackson heard. Well, anybody can win with Michael Jordan. Well, you know what? Blending talent is more difficult than when you don't have talent, because you've got egos, you have to have people assume, accept their roles, and that's another challenging part of coaching. But then I go to Pontiac, and well, nobody can win at Pontiac. So that was the challenge. That was one of the reasons why I went there. And 8 years we turned that around, and they had more success than they've ever had before or since. So that '99 season where we won, I think we were 21-8, and we won a regional, went to the Sweet 16. That was a very, very satisfying. And then those kids going on to Division I, that was a very satisfying season.
Fantastic. And we you come into this situation where obviously we've touched on a little bit. Alamogordo basketball has had some fantastic glory years in the '80s and the '90s and state championships, even into the early 2000s. And certainly in the last 10 years, it's been down according to the expectations that people want around here. The attendance isn't. I mean, you've seen the Pit. That place used to be packed back in the day. Clearly, you welcome the challenge of getting a program back in the right direction. What kind of things do you think it will take to make that happen? Well,
it starts with a good product. Yeah. The old from the movie, it's so true. If you build it, they will come. If we put a real positive team out there, and the best salesman will be the players. The players will tell their friends, they'll tell their parents, they'll talk, yeah, this is going to be cool. This is going to be good. We're going to be better. We're having fun. We're going to get after it. And it's not going to happen overnight, but the mindset can happen very quickly. Changing the culture, the thought culture of what's going on, that can happen very quickly. And that's my biggest challenge. It's a race against time. How quickly can we be good? We'll be good. It's just how quickly can that happen in terms of taking the kids where they're at now and getting them to where we need to be. But yeah, that's an exciting challenge. And I feel a responsibility when you take on a community high school job to the community. I want the people to feel good about it too and come out and enjoy. And when they talk to their friends in other communities, they go, "Yeah, we're Tigers. The Tigers are on a roll now. We're on the way. Watch out. We're getting better." So we want to build that type of enthusiasm and excitement. But it'll start by me doing what I need to do, the kids buying into it, and they'll be the salesman. You can't just say, "Listen, please come out," because we need your. So let's put something out there that they want to come and see. And the other thing in developing a full program is for me to be able to be very available out in the community to anybody who would like to get to know me or the program, and bringing in the other youth coaches. And by Thanksgiving, I want every third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grader in town to know who I am. I want to be able to say, "Hey, they met Coach T, and I met them." And fifth grader comes into a game, "Hey, Joe," because if I'm able to do that, which I love doing, that Joe who might be in fifth grade goes, "Coach Shields knows who I am." That's important. That's people skills, but you have to want to do that. You have to want to develop that type of camaraderie, community-wise and program-wise, from the young kids on up to the high school kids. You can't just focus as a varsity coach on just the varsity kids. because that third, fourth, and fifth grader, you want them to want to be anxious to be future Tigers. So a continuity successful basketball program involves many elements, and not only on the court but off the court.
Yeah, and I would think, I mean, again, you want kids coming in when they become freshmen in high school, they know, hey, this is where the basketball program is, and to know the system as well, obviously,
exactly.
Important, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you put in a system, you put in a philosophy, and you tweak things in terms of specifics within a system to fit the talent. But you end up with a basic philosophy. Like, I like to run. I like to trap. I like to play very aggressive, multiple defenses. And I understand that we won't have any problem trying to run or play fast when we play Hobbs.
Not at all.
But it takes a matter of then finding out what our strength is. You know, are we? We're not going to be very tall. I'm seeing, and I've been told other teams might be taller. Okay, it's more of a guards game in our day and age anyway. But you take what you got and then you blend it together and you adjust a little bit here and there within your philosophy, within your system, to give the kids the best opportunity to win.
What do you find, I mean, over the years, you know, in terms of being able to motivate the kids, is it a case-by-case basis, or do you feel like you can apply it to you know, the group of players? What's been your experience with that?
Well, you know, a group kind of, and yet obviously you're going to relate differently to each individual. You treat everybody fairly, but not everybody the same, because, you know, some kids you can yell at, some you don't. I'm not much of a yeller anyway. But you create that overall feeling of we're heading in the right direction. We've got each other's backs. We're all on the same team. We're in this together. It's not like the coaches are way up here and then we're way down here, or they're being talked down to every time. I will let players make suggestions in practice. On the floor, I hope to have 2 or 3 assistants, and we may be working on a system. Maybe there's 5-on-5. Maybe we're putting in an offensive system. And I'll see something, or a player might say, or the assistant coach, well, coach, what? And I'll say, okay, stop. Let's recreate that. I call it laboratory. All right, what do you got? How can we make this better? So that's the teaching aspect, immediate and very clear and concise. So those are all elements that go into getting this thing going.
Awesome. Talk a little bit about, I mean, you know, you certainly like teaching. Talk a little about the basketball camp that you were involved in. I mean, you were busy running a basketball camp, or you know, doing that for a few years. What was that experience, and how do you feel like that helped in terms of, you know, your coaching experience as well?
Well, that's the first line of teaching. Teams come together, especially when you get to high school, even mid school, during the summertime after your camps. If you're going to play in tournaments, team camps are big in Illinois, and weekend leagues. And so we had 2 weeks of camp, 2 hours a day. We didn't need more than 2 hours. And we did a lot of teaching. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of competitive shooting contests, dribbling and stuff, where we had little prizes, T-shirt here and a coupon to McDonald's there. And from my standpoint, I get to teach, but I also get to see how they're able to learn, and I'm evaluating. You know, kids are, it's amazing how much they'll improve, they'll grow and get different between the end of one basketball season in March and then the first couple weeks in June. They're different people by then. So you're able to project how they're going to be the following year, and that's when you start building those relationships and you get to know who they are.
Awesome. Well, Coach, you know, I think really looking forward to seeing what the product is going to be. Obviously, we're a few months out from the start of the basketball season, but I know you're looking forward to getting out there and working with the guys, and I think we're all very excited about having you in here at Alamogordo High School, and we certainly we wish you the best of luck, and we'll look forward to the fall time in November when the season gets going.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Tom Shields, the new Alamogordo boys basketball coach. We'll be talking to him again before too long.